Today we will talk about diasporas, whose number of people in our country is quite small. A long time ago, during the resettlement, they had to move to different countries: Turkey, Caucasus, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. However, wherever they live, they have the Black Sea in their blood. Guess who it is? Today, we are talking about Crimean Tatars. My name is Alevtina Magyarova. Good afternoon. In today's episode, we are going to go deep into the peculiarities of Crimean Tatars' traditions, and we are going to see ancient rituals, which you'll know very soon. Well, before that, we'll talk about something equally interesting: cuisine, handicraft, dances, music, and many other things. There aren't a lot of Crimean Tatars in Almaty, but it doesn't prevent them to honor their traditions and history. We decided to visit their holiday in order to be acquainted with their traditions. Therefore, we have visited the 5-year anniversary of Crimean Tatars community. Our center was officially opened in 2010. Of course, the main goal of our center is the preservation of our culture, our language, our traditions and customs, so that our children know each other, communicate with each other, to make them remember our language and to preserve our ethnicity. Crimean Tatars have one dance which, from the one side, is absolutely traditional, and from the other side, it always develops and changes. This ethnicity is rich for their dances, and most of them are learned nowadays. Horan, Çoban Ayuni, Yavluk Avasi, Tim Tim, Emir Celal, Jiyin, Bogday Hay Tarmasi, etc. There's no dance without music. Rhythms of Crimean Tatars have inspired many composers. Many people know the story about how Glinka was inspired with ethnical music, which he heard from his friend Ayvazovsky, so that Glinka used these melodies in his opera Ruslan and Ludmila. Its folk version sounds like this.
Kaleden kalege bir daş alaydım, kaleden kalege bir daş alaydım, ahile vahile yoldaş olaydım, ahile vahile yoldaş olaydım.
Crimean Tatars' folk motifs can perfectly be mixed with the music of different genres, and Spindiyatov, an Armenian composer, a pupil of Rimsky-Korsakov, used it. He reworked songs and compositions in songs and symphonies. Rifat also chose that way. He uses traditional music to compose jazz hits. He makes it fantastically. Here it's folk music, and now it slowly and smoothly turns into jazz music. Today I want to present our Crimean girl's suit. It consists of 2 parts. The first is a white dress, which is worn at the beginning. In Crimean Tatar culture, the white color symbolizes a girl's innocence, her purity and chastity. This dress should be covered with a kaftan. Kaftans are made of red velvet. Kaftans are decorated with embroidery, which is made of gold threads. Camisole is a symbol of peace and mind. Moreover, the golden embroidery should be made by the hostess of the camisole. So a girl is a true artisan. She knows how to sew, cook, and iron. She is a dream bride. A belt is worn atop the kaftan. The belt means the guarantee of a woman's health. The belt is handed down as a family heirloom from mother to daughter, and so on. It is considered that by doing so, a mother gives positive energy to her daughter, which will help her to give birth to healthy children in the future. Another important element of the Crimean Tatar national costume is fez. Fez is also sewn with golden threads. It symbolizes the wisdom of a girl. Embroidery on the headdress of the Crimean Tatars is associated with paradise. There are different fruits and plants on fezes. If a young girl is going to marry, she wears a special scarf, maroma, and she should embroider the patterns on the maroma. Such a costume is not casual clothes. It should be worn on different holidays, anniversaries, or weddings. However, let's go back to the embroideries, which are used not only in clothes. No one can get acquainted with ethnical traditions without learning ethnical craft. When we talk about the Tatar art, we always notice Tatar embroideries. Yes, however, I'll correct you a little bit. Crimean Tatar embroidery. You mean Crimean Tatar is not the same with just Tatar? No, it's not. Crimean Tatar embroidery has its own features. There are plenty of methods in Crimean Tatar embroidery. It is not easy to learn all of them. It takes a lot of patience and skills. Well, let's do it that way. Are you the master of this craft? Well, partially. Well, if you can embroider, won't you show me some of your works? How do you do that? Okay. We decided to start our exploration from Morama. It looks easier and it has a lot of symbols. Interesting. So if we see 2 roses, it means there are 2 topping women in that family. Well, yes, it can be so. Also, there are flowers. Flowers in the form of bodem. Bodem is a symbol of a girl who is ready for marriage, i.e., this pattern says that the family has marriageable girls. Here it is, the tree of life. The tree of life can be depicted in different ways, i.e., it can have vertical orientation. The bigger the family, the higher the tree of life. It is like a science. Embroidery seems to be whether women's entertainment or work. It seems to be simple handicraft. There are so many hidden signs from which you read so much information that you need to learn not only the art of embroidery, you also have to master the art of reading these signs. Girls are taught embroidery from the age of 12. Prior to her age, she should make by her own hands doksulak, 9 subjects and products. In each of them, she put her hopes for the future. These items are intended as a gift to the groom, who is supposed to read the silent language. If a guy likes a girl, he can pretend that he accidentally drops a white handkerchief without any embroideries. And if a girl liked that boy, she should embroider the handkerchief and return it to that guy. It is a sign of agreement. Here I have a question. So a girl starts to prepare to her marriage since the age of 12. And when does her adulthood start? Girl is considered marriageable since the age of 16 or 17. Well, there's no theory without practice. It is tatar ishleme. It is Tatar embroidery. It is 2-sided. Without preparatory covering, it means that it has no facial or inner side. You're right. It has no facial or inner side. It is sewn carefully. All threads are hidden. Look, it has no knots. You cannot identify the start and the end of the embroidery. 2-sided embroidery masters can hide threads perfectly. They weave them into stems or cover them with a flower. At a distance of 3 to 4 shots, we sew the thread till the end, like this. Proper performance, it's sinchatish. It means that you should thrust it with a needle point, and the eye of a needle should be pulled out. Now it's your turn. It's so interesting. Crimean Tatar embroidery has its hidden meaning beneath its beauty. You can see claws on the branches or on the flowers. Alternatively, you can call it cock's claws. It is like an amulet from the evil eye. It is a sign of protection. Tumars, amulets with suras from inside the Quran are also decorated with embroidery. Thread should be prepared in advance. It is handmade. 7, 14, 18. It depends on the thickness of a cord. Threads can be gold or silver color, and the methods of working with them is almost a science. And now we shifted to the embroidery, which is called macramé. It's one-sided embroidery. I know this drawing. Isn't it that one? Yes, it is. Before we get such a beautiful product, we should set it on those hoops. We use thick textiles for macramé. Preliminary flooring is required for one-sided embroidery. Every detail that will be sheathed needs to be cut in advance. It's required for convex embroidery. I can guess that the modern woman also can make a lot of things. Sometimes we just choose the wrong things to learn. Going back to traditions, here I can see special things. Is that an embroidered covering for the Quran? Yes, it is. It is made by Lilia Kalisheva. She is my teacher. Such a Quran is given to a groom by the youngest man of the bride's family. It symbolizes respect. Also, there should be different decorations and valuable gifts. Of course, nowadays machine embroidery is quite popular, and to be honest, it is as good as that handmade embroidery. But it's still hard to learn the craft. Many people earn money by making embroidery for others. Well, I think that we have dealt with this. Let's move on. The best way to get acquainted with an ethnicity is to try their ethnic food. The best way to do it is to visit someone, because no restaurant can be compared to home cuisine. While we were talking with cordial host, we started to cook. If you see two women in the kitchen wearing aprons, it is clear what the talks are about. It's all about cuisine, not just Tatar cuisine, but Crimean Tatar cuisine. So we are going to play hard. We're visiting Auntie Lilia. Thank you for your invitation. Lilia, or Auntie Lilia, has been living in Kazakhstan for a long time. Her father was a teacher, but when the war started, he went to Ukraine, and the family had to resettle. They all met in Ural. They have lived there for a few years, however they couldn't find a home, until they moved to the southern capital of Kazakhstan. I was 4 when we arrived to Kazakhstan. I have my family. I have 2 grandchildren now. Lilia has a multi-ethnic family. However, the Crimean Tatar values are taught by her anyway. Her children and grandchildren go to lectures and seminars to learn their native language. Well, we decided we are going to start cooking first a tatarasha. It is tiny dumplings. The dish is quite simple. It consists of the dough, which is very thin, minced meat, onions, salt, and pepper. Here we fan-fold our dumplings. Oh, you can't say that there are no features. It's not so easy, huh? It's not excellent, but it's all right for the first time. We put a bit of meat, minced, and voila, that's it. We put together 2 tips, and like this. Very interesting envelope. The broth is going to go inside it. We leave it opened intentionally for broth to come inside. Yes, yes, yes. Tatarash is oiled like usual dumplings, but because of holes with the broth inside, they have an amazing taste. Crimean Tatar cuisine is very diverse. No one can know everything. There are chibureks, dolma, and shish kebabs. Everything that can be made out of dough, veggies, and meat. Lots of those dishes are common with other ethnicities, but who said that we can't interchange the experience? Well, everything is ready. The table is set, we drank some coffee, and it's time to taste our dishes. Vineta joined us. She's an invisible helper of our cooking. To be honest, she was the first assistant of today's session. I'm so glad that you are here with us. So, how to say bon appetit in Tatar?
Aşınız tatlı olsun.
Aşınız tatlı olsun.
And when the sun is down, we are going to visit one of the most mysterious rituals, the night of henna, or nadjedese. This ritual is held when a young girl is leaving her family because of the marriage. It is the way relatives see off the bride. This happens before the wedding. A bride with her relatives and friends meets with the women from the groom's family and sets a table for them. And also she should kiss the hand of her mother-in-law. It means that it is the alternative for the hen party. You're absolutely right. It is a hen party, but with a mother-in-law. And she is one of the most honorable guests. She has her own special role, because Crimean Tatar people are rich with their traditions. They are quite picturesque. In the presence of her mother-in-law, it adds spice because she should be not only an honorable guest, but one of the most active participants.
Akşam şerfeleriniz hayırlı olsun. Sağ olun.
That evening, the girl should be wearing a new dress, red, purple, or white. Before the ceremony, she wears a long, embroidered kaftan. The bride is seated in the middle of the room. Everyone dances horan around the bride.
Bugün toy kız evlene, kızlar geldi evine, kına koya eline, ağlama gelin ağlama, sızlama gelin sızlama. Davul zurna saz ile, kalem kaşlı yaş gele, çık karşına naz ile, ağlama gelin ağlama. Ağlama gelin ağlama.
After the bride's head is covered with the marama, the mother-in-law comes to her, and the girl should clench her fist. And what does that mean? It shows her modesty, because she knows that she is going to be given a present. In ancient times, a gold coin was put in a bride's hand. It is one of the symbols of prosperity. It wishes prosperity to the future family. Today's mother-in-law puts a golden ring or earrings into the bride's hand. After that, the woman who is happy with her married life should paint the bride's hands with henna. By doing that, she gives a part of her happiness to the bride, so the young woman can ignite her own fireside. Henna is chosen intentionally, because beneath its flavor and beauty, this plant has healing abilities. The middle of the palm is considered to be the lace, where all the energy concentrates, so the painting starts here. Bride's fingertip should also be painted with henna, and the rest of the henna is applied to other girls' hands, so they could get married soon. The debates about the origin of Crimean Tatars don't seem to end. However, I think that it is not so important, since this ethnicity can become fraternal wherever they are.